Howdy fellas, Uncle Sasquatch and Jake coming to you today. We want to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk a little bit about firearm safety, and particularly with handguns. From being an NRA certified and a state certified handgun instructor, I've probably seen, and plus and additionally working at a local gun store, I've probably seen every example of the mishandling of a handgun in existence. We're going to talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts today when handling a handgun. The first thing, any firearm, you should always treat it like it's loaded. No matter if you know you checked it just a few minutes ago. You want to verify always it's unloaded. I may show the same handgun to a customer 10 times in a day at the store, but I always pick it up, point it in a safe direction, verify it's clear, and then hand it to the customer, butt first, down. Now, to verify that a semi-automatic handgun is unloaded, the first thing you do, you remove the source of ammunition. In this case, it would be the magazine. Secondly, with the gun pointed in a safe direction, you pull the slide back, look down in the chamber of the magazine well, and verify that there's no round in that chamber. Okay, and you always do that. Even though you may have just done it 5 minutes ago, you do it again. With a revolver, same thing. You point it in the safe direction, open the cylinder, look in the cylinder, and verify it's clear. And then hand the gun to the customer or whoever else you happen to be handing it to. And you always want to keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. I don't know how many times I see people that are new to handguns or just simply careless. The first thing they do when they pick up a gun, their finger goes to the trigger. Do not do that. Even though you know the gun has been unloaded and verified as clear, you still put your finger off the trigger when you pick it up. The same thing with the semi-automatic. You pick it up, your finger goes down the side, not to the trigger. I've witnessed people in handgun classes as well as at the store. They pick up a gun, you know, I verified it clear before I hand it to them, but they pick the thing up, and the first thing they're done, the finger goes to the trigger, and they pull the slide back. Now, what could happen? You've got your finger on that trigger. The trigger's disengaged, and you let that go on a live round, the gun could fire. It probably won't with these modern firearms, but it very well could. And, you know, I've seen people, you give them a gun, they start waving the muzzle around. They're covering everybody around them. You know, just constantly. No telling how many times a day I've had a gun pointed at me, even though I know it's unloaded. It's still not real good handling etiquette. You know, don't point the gun at somebody even though you know it's not loaded. I've seen students in class literally take a revolver and turn it on yourself to look in the front of the cylinder to see if the thing's unloaded. That is a no-no. That is a definite no-no. Guys, if you're going to be around firearms, no matter if they be the old traditional type guns or the modern guns, learn how to safely handle these. Because there's two reasons for firearms accidents. Number one is ignorance. That's just failure to follow the simple rules in handling the gun and knowing how the gun works. And the other is carelessness. You may have been around firearms all your life, but you're still practicing careless things like putting your finger on the trigger, pointing it somewhere else other than where it ought to be pointed, like at somebody. Always keep that firearm pointed in a safe direction until you're ready to fire it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Whenever we hear about a firearms accident, what is it? We always hear the statement, well, I didn't know the gun was loaded. Well, why didn't you know it was loaded? Because you didn't check the thing. So, be safe. And, you know, this is a tool, a very deadly tool, but be safe with it. Don't be waving it around, putting your finger on a trigger, pointing at somebody. I've seen people literally pick up a gun, put their hand over the muzzle, and pull the trigger. I know it's unloaded because I verified it clear, but still, you do not do that. Accidents happen. And really, there's no such thing as an accident. It's all premeditated carelessness. So guys, be safe, practice safety each and every day when you're handling firearms. I hope you learned something from this video, and as always, keep your powder dry and mind your top knot, Pilgrim.